Okay, this is the real.
Nicola,
Good morning. Hello.
Oh my God. I'm you died for me. While we're up, we can sing one last song. After we so we'll start. Time is not with us. So we can choose one more song. Yeah, I'm not choosing. Four. Okay, that is four. So that is STA. My soul, let me to thy bones abide. While the heroes lead me on, while the tempest is up, hide me, oh my Savior, from the storm of life's sweep into the heavenlies. Oh, see my soul of love. I'm the helper. Have my helpless soul on thee. Leave or leave me no. Oh, please stay. All my help from thee I bring. Cover my defenseless aid with a shield and wings. Thou art Christ, oh, all I want, more than just I am more unrighteousness than your sin I am. Thou art full of truth and grace. Just grace with thee is found. Grace to pardon all my sin. Let the healing streams abound. Make and keep me within thy love, the fountain heart. Freely let me take of thee. Spring thou up within my heart. Praise to all eternity. Okay, we can kneel down and pray. We thank you, Almighty God, for this wonderful time that you've given us together as family. We thank you for the Sabbath, to be with you in these holy hours. We ask that you be amidst us as we begin to learn. We are in the crucial hours of Earth history, where so many things are happening, oh God, so many things that you want to let us know, a lot of things that we have to learn and unlearn. All we ask is that you help us and prepare our hearts in readiness to receive your teachings and instruction and your word. Be with us in Jesus' name we pray, amen. Patricia, you're welcome. Yeah, George was with us. I don't know, maybe due to network, he's no longer here with us. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm sure others will come along the way. I don't know if there are people on YouTube. If you're there, you've got questions, contributions, please, you can send them in Kitwe Study. Then we'll be able to share your thoughts with the group here, or your question will be able to address it as well here. So that is how we are going to operate today. For those who are here on Zoom, yeah, you can unmute, you ask your question or contribution. Anytime, you can just unmute and then we'll be able to give you the chance to share your thoughts or your questions. And to us here in the audience, yeah, you can raise up your hand and then you can share your thoughts or your questions with everybody else. So that is how we're going to operate. I don't know if you're able to see. I'm going to write something, then you confirm if you're able to see Patricia there. So yeah, I'm going to ask you unmute. Are you able to see what I've written, Patricia? Chapman, you're welcome. Yes. So Chapman is still in the process of joining. So Patricia, if you're able to see, please confirm. Yeah, vertex, or you can just unmute and share your thoughts. Confirm.
I can't see anything.
You can't see anything.
Mm.
Maybe later. Okay, Nico is going to try and switch on the light to see if you'll be able to see. How about now? Okay, what I've written here is methodology. We're going to be looking at methodology today. Yeah, I know we've become almost gurus in the methodology from the time we joined the movement, but I thought it's important that we do a bit of revision, go back. I think from time to time, yeah, I think I'll be putting it in my studies. We'll be reviewing methodology so that we can understand how the studies are coming up or they're being formulated. The methodology, I know we know it's parable teaching methodology, Miller's rules that we use. But at times, anyway, if you're like me, I get carried away, then forget. Then I'm drawn into using the wrong methodology. So, okay, then we're going to begin by defining what is methodology. What does that term mean? What do we understand? You're welcome to use your Google search, use the internet to find out. Or better still, you can share your thought. What's methodology? What's the meaning of that term? When you hear the term methodology, what comes to your mind? Chapman, you finally made it. You're welcome. That's when you've just begun. Okay, today we'll be looking at methodology. George, you're welcome as well. So we've just begun. So we want to understand what the term methodology means. So people who are here, like I said, you can unmute Chapman or George, Patricia, then you share your thoughts. Yeah, if you want, I'm going to point at you. Today I feel so happy. I don't know why. So Joseph, what do you understand by the term methodology? Eh? Okay. Joseph will share his thoughts later. Nico, methodology. We use this term very much. What is the methodology you are using in these studies of yours? Yeah, what do we understand by the term methodology? Yes.
I would say, say to use
Okay.
use when you've done something.
So Nico has told me, we have shared that it's a set of rules used to understand something. So you want to understand something. So for you to understand that, you need rules. Okay, thank you for that. And the rest of us, what are our thoughts? I'm looking at you. Okay. Joseph, you can come in now. You're not ready. Okay, fine. Then I'm going to share mine as well. And we're going to read something later on. So when you hear the term methodology, the one that I've researched, there are a couple of them. Let me begin by sharing one. It's talking about analyzing of principles, procedure of inquiry in a particular field. We got that? There is analysis. You're analyzing principles or procedures of inquiring a particular field. So I think I can put it here. Where Nico said, you want to understand something. So you're going to what? Analyze the principles of procedure. Procedure can also mean what? What's the other term that we can use or swap in for procedure? Okay, yeah, process is fine. What else? Okay, let's do something like that. What are the synonyms that we can come up with? The synonyms for methodology. We can Google. You're allowed to do that. Okay, let's Google. Me, I love an interactive class. A quiet class, it's not nice. We're sharing thoughts here. Okay? So you said processes. So I'll put one here. Or use a dot. Said processes. What else? An approach. a policy, pathway. So I'm going to list them, then we're going to look at this together. A plan, direction, then I'll add to method. I'll add two, and I think those will be enough for the rest. We're going to check on our own. Procedure. Then one last one that I'll use is strategy. So we can use this. Then another thing that I want us to look at is how many words can we find in this term? Methodology. Yes, I'm waiting. Where should I cut the word? I'm waiting for you people. Yes. Well, before we get to cutting the term methodology, is the word. So the synonyms that I've come up with, I said we'll look at that, then we'll come here.
Going to financial.
Yeah, okay, from here, you can pick whatever you want to talk about, either the synonym or you can cut the word methodology and tell us the two terms that you find there. Okay, so you can, the floor is yours, I'm listening. Mhm. Yes, I'm waiting. There is Joseph here, there is Sharon, there is Chapman and Patricia. I don't know who's on YouTube. And it seems like we've lost George again. Yeah, so let's share our views. So I've cut this into. So we need to define what these two are. Okay, let's begin with what's the term when you talk about method, what is the meaning of that? Yes. The term method, what comes into your mind?
The way,
Okay, the way of what?
the way was going.
Okay, I'm listening. Mhm. Yeah, you can go ahead, I'm listening.
So that means word is distinction.
Okay,
Word is measure of study.
okay.
So I've given two definitions.
I didn't quite get it. Can you repeat yourself? You
Method.
said? Yes, method?
Complete word.
It's a what?
Complete.
The Greek word, okay?
Complete means way of.
Well,
Then all the study of somewhere else.
where
Or study.
you say method, it's way of, and then here it's what?
Study.
Study.
When you combine it.
So methodology is a way of study. Okay? That is Nicholas' thought. Thank you for that. What about the rest of us? What does, when we get methodology, then we cut it into two, precise on method and ology. So let's start by, what does method mean to you? Yes, I'm looking at you.
Okay, now, you should have explained to me.
Okay, Joseph said it's a way of doing something as well, just like Nicholas said. Okay, so I've got something here. Method is a structure of bringing about certain goal, like acquiring knowledge or verifying knowledge. Knowledge claims, I mean. Did we get that? So it's a method. Method is a structure of bringing out, so you've got a goal. In short, the first thing that you have is a goal. Now, how you want to achieve that is what is called what? Method. Is that clear? So they gave an example like acquiring knowledge, or you want to verify knowledge. So I've got a certain topic of study that I'm interested in. So that's the goal. I've got this rough idea of what I want to achieve. But to confirm my thoughts to be true, I need a method to get to that goal. Or if somebody shares something with me, for me to believe that person, I need to verify that information. I'll need a method or a way to get to understand what that person is trying to tell me. And then steps to achieve this. How you're going to achieve this? First of all, you're going to choose a sample. And then you collect data. So what do we mean by sample? What's a sample? Step one, you need a sample. Step two, you collect data, and then the third step, interpreting this data. What's a sample? When you hear the term sample, what comes to mind? So I'm going to use something, this part. What sample? Fine, I'm gonna share my thoughts. So a sample, you're selecting a subset. So you've got a lot of things, then you're going to select something that is going to represent that bunch. Okay? Do we understand? So I want to, there is a lot of stuff, things that are similar or, yeah, similar, let me use the term. So I'm investigating something. So I need to get a sample for that and do a study. Once I get that sample, then collect the information or data. Then I interpret it. Then that is when I can reach my goal. So there is sample. You need a sample. You collect the sample in selection, collection of data, then interpreting it. Any questions? Wow, we've reached. So this subset can also be referred to as what? A statistical population. So you're investigating something. You're going to collect, for example, maybe you want to investigate the number of maybe, let's say, Asian people affected maybe with HIV. So from that masses of people, your concentration will be on what? The Asian population of race. So from there, you need to collect a sample. Is it clear? You ask questions because if it's not clear, it won't make sense where we're going. Wow. A sample is a what? Okay, continue listening. Yeah, Nicholas is saying something. I'm going to share his thought. Yes. You're asking a proof of what? So Nico is asking, is a sample a proof? Like evidence, right? Yeah, evidence of what?
Give an example of studying about people and then you get the sample from them.
Okay. I'm not sure, but let's read something. Or maybe you can explain more if you've got, yeah, if you can share your thoughts on that. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm listening. Susan and Kaisa, you're welcome. That's when it just began, yeah. So we're looking at methodology. So we're looking at the term itself, methodology. What does it mean? So people are sharing their views. So you've not missed out very much. Yeah, it just began so far. So what we've looked at, you have just listed the synonyms for methodology: pathway, plan, direction, strategy, procedure, method, approach, processes. And then now we're looking at the term methodology. Now we're cutting it in two. Yeah, we're cutting it in two. That is method and ology. What does that mean? So Nico shared that method is a way of, he just said the way of, yeah, and then ology is study. So Methodology is a way of study. Okay. Yes, so then we began to look at if you want to, the steps on how you're going to conduct your study, you want to find out something about something. You need to collect information or a sample. So from the masses, you need to get a sample that is going to represent this whole, a subset in short. And then once you collect that information, you need a sample, then you collect the information or the data, actually data to be specifically, and then you need to interpret that. So then there is a question, Nico is asking if he says a sample is what? Evidence or proof of something you are studying. Is that what you are saying? Yeah, so that is what Nico was asking. So I was asking him to elaborate more on that. So you can continue. I was giving a quick summary for Kaisa. I'm waiting.
From me.
Yes. You were saying something.
I just wanted confirmation. What is it? Say, maybe I understand that this is just for example, or could be.
Okay, so let me just repeat this thing. So we're talking about us giving a definition like you gave, then I gave my definition, which is okay, adding to the definition that you gave us, which I talked about. A method is a structure, a structured procedure for bringing about a certain goal. So there is the way this is structured to bring about a certain goal. You want to achieve something. And then, like acquiring knowledge or verifying, which I talked about. So you've got a goal. First of thing, you need to have a goal. You need to have something you want to achieve at the end of the day. So when you have that, and then I talked about this will involve these 3 steps in order to achieve this method, which I talk about. You need a sample, and you need what? You need collection of data and interpreting of that data. So then what? Okay, yes. So you get that? Yes, now with that, now I'll try to explain more now. Can you ask your question once more? Or now can you see?
No, say when you are studying, you get the sample.
Yes.
And I said, when I learn what's the sample is, you don't get it is the truth.
Yeah, I think something that will, you use that, yeah. A sample to, yeah, evidence, yes, I agree. You want to prove that. Oh, okay. I don't know, what are your thoughts? So Nico was asking is, I've got a goal, I want to study about this. And then for me to get to that goal, I will need to collect that sample. And that sample is what is going to confirm what my thoughts are by studying those. I collect data. Once I collect the data of the evidence and then interpret that it will confirm my thoughts. Yes. So we got that. Okay, so I want to read something. Yes, Joseph.
You want to touch on some sample includes. An example is good for the so what to present some what is it? Your examples.
Example, yeah, the Asian people. Okay, so if so I want to find out, maybe, let's say, maybe I'm saying, let me remove the term HIV. Let's say maybe let me use a topic I'm very familiar with. They say that fibroids is more common in women of color. And when I talk about women of color, I mean Black people. So if I want to confirm that to be true, doing that study, then the sample that I need to collect, I need to get a selection of different women, Black women from different parts of the world, and try to see if that is true. Then when I have, so my sample will be Black women. I'll collect that, then I begin to investigate. I do test, that is data collection, and then interpret that. It will confirm if that information that I had is true. So the sample will be these people, Black women. Is that clear? Okay, so Joseph is okay with that. I don't know. Yeah, Joseph was asking you, how would that sampling, like how would the sample look like? So I gave an example on fibroids in Black women. You're welcome, Albert. So I want to read something. So if you remember the definition I gave about what method is, remember that? What did I say for following? I said, what is the definition of method? What's a method? Albert, you're welcome. Yeah, once more. So I was asking, what did I say method is? So you can just give a summary version of what you got, what I said. I know you shared your views on. So I'm going to add something here. So I'll put a particular on Nico's definition where so a method is a particular way of achieving something. And then ology is study, of course. So you want to achieve you've got something in mind that you want to do with, or you want to achieve. So you need a certain method or a way you're going to achieve that. So that is that. So I was talking about something before we go to Joseph's question, that is about, in a sample, there is what they call a statistical population. So in that example that I gave, a statistical population, it will be the women of Black women. So you want to find out how frequent or how often do they get sick with fibroid. Okay? So at the end of the day, when you talk about methodology, you've got questions you've got a question that you need to answer. Do we understand that? When I embark on trying to find out something, I've got what will embark me or what will make me to start doing what I'm doing. There is a question. Like I said, how often they are saying that Black women easily get what? Fibroids, unlike other women of other races. So that's the question. For me to answer that question, I need to sample, I need information. I need to not information. Information is something. I need data. This is very important that you get it because it will make sense. Content of today.
Hello?
Yes, Kaisa.
Yeah, we've got a
Yes.
question.
Yes, Kaisa, go ahead.
Based on the example you've given,
Oh.
if you just study colored people, how are you going to fully understand whether it is true? Why can't you collect maybe 2 samples, then you compare?
Okay. So, I think where that question, yeah, that is very true what you're saying. For them to come up, for me to do, if I'm doing that research on Black people, first of all, I need to find out. What do you think before I can say anything more? You heard Kaisa's question.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, okay, before we do a summary, let's try and then we'll get back to you. Kaisa is saying, okay, that is fine on the example that I've given, Black women, but wouldn't it be nice for me to get 2 samples? Maybe let's say not just 2 samples. Let me call it 2 samples. Black women and other women's races.
No.
Yes. Yes, you heard that. So I'm asking, how does Kaiser's concern sound to you? Albert is out of the loop. What do we think? Okay, for me, I think that sounds reasonable, but I'll confirm, we'll revisit this time. I think that's the way we should do. That sounds reasonable for me. As for the summary, we'll give you before. Wait, and Nico, try to give him a summary of what we were looking at. After? Okay, so Nico said, do we give you after the lesson? Yes. So, they're telling us methodologies. This, I'm reading from Wikipedia. Yeah, that is on paragraph, let me say, second paragraph, yeah. Methodologies are traditionally divided into quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative research is the main methodology of natural science. It uses precise numerical measurements, that is, quantitative. So in quantitative, the simple thing that I can just say is that they are precise measurement. They use measurements there. You have to, maybe if it's height, they'll use certain things to measure that. Yes? Albert?
The sample of the sample of the program that become just
Nico will help you. Nico, in short, what is the meaning of sample? We talked about that at the beginning.
Oh. Remember the initial sample. Started by defining what is the knowledge, plus only we start divide with the knowledge, it doesn't have any issue, it never be knowledge. So now, for somebody, never I can see for everything, so it's a good understanding. We go for a refinement, it's a section. So if you are want to start out with something, you need to get for sample or certain information concerning something. Okay.
So I'll continue. So like I said, quantitative, you use precise measurement. This is about measurement. If you are collecting data, that sample of yours, there is need a lot of measurements, calculations. You're dealing with things that are maybe measurable, if I'm to use it like that, but not really. Its goal is usually to find universal laws used to make prediction about future events. So the main role or the goal of what quantitative research, you just want to do what? You come up with universal laws that you're going to use to predict what? The future. The dominant methodology in natural science is called scientific method. It includes steps like observation and formulation of hypotheses. Okay, I'll just skip a bit. And then when we go to qualitative research is more I beg your pardon. So qualitative research is more characteristic of social science and gives less prominence to exact numerical measurement. It aims more at an in-depth understanding of the meaning of studied phenomena and less at universal and predictive laws. Common methods found in social science are survey, interviews, focus, and nominal groups of technique. So for this, you won't use measurement most and things like that. It is after you do a study. And then how is this study conducted? Maybe interview, survey, you just go, you're observing things. You're interviewing people, you do surveys, maybe you focus on a certain group. You're not there, in short, what you're finding there, it's not something that can become a universal law. So for example, which one can we give an name? For example, a universal law. Time. We can talk about time, weight. Those are universal things. So you say by this time, they calculated and they came up with something that is fixed and it is universal. Now, when you talk about these studies, this other one, you just observe people, maybe you're studying a group. It doesn't mean it's something that is affecting the whole group, the whole people in the world. For example, maybe I'm studying about life in Africa for maybe Bushmen. So my focus will be on that. I'll interview them, maybe live with them. So that information I'm going to find, it's not something that we can apply on a universal level. It's something that is related to those people. So at the end of the day, when we are doing studies methodology, you are answering What I want us to understand, methodology is all about answering a what? A question. So that is what method, yes.
No, it's a statement when you come to.
Okay, so methodology, at the end of the day, what I want us to get in this, that you've got a question. And then that question on how you're going to answer that, how you're going to get to the truth of the matter is what this is all about we're looking at. Yes, Joseph?
Who makes methodology?
Who makes methodology?
Mm.
Yes. What do we think? Who makes methodology?
Process. Never will take you push for electronic process.
Yes.
I want something to know or to understand.
So who make methodology in this one? Like what I was sharing, my thoughts, these thoughts. I was talking about, like, in methodology, there is what? Quantitative and qualitative research, these things and things like that. So we talked about the actual things or things that are measurable and things that, maybe let me say non-measurable, things like that, but that is not the correct term. So who came up with this methodology? From what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here is people, they were observing things. They observed, in short, it's in nature, but somebody came and brought it to the surface. That's what I can say. So there are these things that they are seeing. There are certain things that they can calculate, and then they make laws. Then there are certain things that are not calculatable. They just they study them in a certain way. You understand? Is methodology made? I don't know if I can say really made. Who makes it? It's observed there. They can see it in nature. There are certain people who were clever enough to see certain patterns and certain things in nature. And then they brought it to the surface. That is so far what I can use, what I can say.
Yeah, Sunday so good. Whatever the situation, whatever. Sunday
Oh.
said that part of
Yeah, let me repeat what you said. So Joseph was asking, who makes methodology, or who came up with methodology? And you heard my thoughts. I said, they're in nature, people observed them. Yeah, you can continue.
Sunday said that. Now the folks are pushing with me.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I make my own methodology to achieve that, is that correct?
No, I don't think that is.
Why?
Correct. Eh?
Put that question in the forum.
Okay, yes, bring it again. So Joseph is saying, sorry, please, let's do that, and then you can repeat, I'll be throwing it to everyone here.
For now.
Installa na tupuida tuwe first. Therefore fike somewhere. I will know. Let's go. Yes.
Right, now the folks are pushing it. Now quite the point.
Okay, so Joseph is saying he's the one who has a goal.
So, nanaipangira methods to achieve that goal is wrong.
So, yeah, somebody has got a goal. Joseph has got a goal. So how he wants to achieve that goal, he comes up with his own methodology on how he's going to achieve that goal. Is that wrong? That's the question. So what are your thoughts? Kaisa, Susan, Where is George Porter? And George and Patricia and the rest of us, what do you think? I want to achieve something. Maybe I want to say, whatever I want to confirm, maybe I'm saying women are weak. And I want to prove that. And then I come up with a method to confirm that, to find that information, not confirm that. I use my own method. Is that okay? Is it wrong if he does that? Because it's him who wants to learn, is the one doing. He wants to learn and understand that. Is it wrong when he does that? So for me, yes, Sharon. Thank you for saving me.
I think it is maybe because of biases.
Okay.
Probably change our pattern and deep quality.
Mm.
So our first session is and change first number. Women now, so our question point, but I skip up the action. Women so.
So Sharon was saying it's wrong. Why? Because this person who is, let's say Joe, who is doing this research, he's got certain biases. And then if he comes up with his own methodology, he is just going to find evidences that are going to confirm what he's saying. Okay, Nico, what are your thoughts to Joseph's question? Yes. And Albert.
On the first one, I do make the flowers.
Okay.
Also, it depends if the area of study of the or the institution you don't.
Okay, let me, before that, because if you say a lot, I'm going to forget I share that. So Nico is starting from Joseph's first question, like who makes the methodology, who comes up with the methodology? He's saying it depends with the institution where you belong to.
Yeah, or the area of study you want to. The area of study.
Or the area of study, yeah, which you're embarking on. Okay.
Why I'm saying so. If you are studying, let's say, engineering, there are things there which you can't really when you study engineering. You know about it. And when you come, you should be because to find out you are also using files and how to study the Bible.
So I think I get it. So what you're saying, when you say the institution where you belong to, there are these set of rules. You can't use this method like you've given an example. You're doing engineering, there are certain rules in engineering, in nursing, certain rules. Or if you want to study the Bible, there are certain rules. So, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Joseph is asking, yeah, those very rules that are in maybe in engineering, who came up with them? Okay. Yes, go ahead. So Nico is saying that is where he's going.
So there so in each field there are people who are expert in those fields. For them to come up with it's people come up with those rules by observing how things happen.
Okay.
On the other hand, we find that we keep including the context of the religion, we find that the same is codes because of the literally those in the
So he got to his point where he says engineering, what was the other one? Nursing and religion. They're expert in these areas, and how these experts came up with these rules, they were observing, they were studying. So in another way, he's agreeing with me. Yeah. When I talked about they observed, they are there in nature. Yeah, and then to religion, he talks about these rules, God made them.
So now somebody question using the one methodology to understand one to understand. That one, if the bit will be wrong, like Sharon said, because for you to come up with the conclusion what one should find, you have a bias. So, and those rules which you be making, you ensure that they are protected.
You can remember, I'll explain. Okay, so Nico is on the second question for Joseph. He's also agreeing with Sharon that no, the biases are going to affect his study, his outcome. He's just going to confirm himself by finding evidences that are going to confirm his biases. Okay, so there you will have it, Joseph. The question I'm asking, are you satisfied before I can come in?
Not really.
Then another answer is Zambia Meetings. So
Abapange.
methodology. So ukitokota yenye uwezo method ya funding. For example, ambayo inatoa kwa different congregations whereby our students family, our different areas that are developed for different methodology. So you want another family. One go there. Now when you come to the movement, you want another family.
Yeah, rushing the thing. Okay. So Sharon, yeah, the last part I want to talk about that. So Sharon is saying there are many methods how people interpret things. In short, yeah, they are made. In short, these methods are made by people, right? Yeah. So that is the thing that came out very much. These methods are made by people. Okay. So Joseph, yes.
I'm saying I'm not satisfied. Yeah, though people have said something which is making sense, but I'm not yet satisfied because I have a lot of questions to add on to what I've already asked. Yeah. Because it's a hard, or maybe you don't see it in that way, to know that these are correct and me, I'm wrong. Because even me, I can observe patterns in nature. And is it that when those who observe that pattern, me, I can't observe and maybe add or bring another pattern to say this also is the method you can use if you want to achieve that goal you have. So now putting an answers here, it has blocked me to say, I have no right, no power to add or to change or to.
I think mostly, anyway, I don't know. I'm sure it was okay. Let me read something. Guys, I wanted to say something before that.
Now we'll open it.
Okay, so
now,
yes, guys. Let me share Joseph's thought.
Question yakwa Joseph.
Mkwe.
I think yama rules techin picho muntu engapanga. umuntu kuti achitafya adopt by observing ama system. I can call nature alikwata ama systems ama rules ine. What people does kuya baba forecast ukumona fichitika shani fienda shani fichita shani exist, then walata mpoku mona ama patterns, and there ama patterns now emu wala funya watu wiko ama rules. Dona nguvalando kutira iru yako anani vamwinika national teno aibikire kokutira nala pange iru in order to find out something. Fintu ifyo besa mkusanga already fyali ba mu existence ifila chita operate. So those systems whether ni mu mechanics mushani, unlike maybe muli region na mwena emu aba complex, but again mwanasanga ati there are patterns na ina muli region ile nga abantu bakwate kwa maruzi alia ayo bachita follow na bena bala chita observe something ifyo balando kutira ma external forces ayalenga abantu bekale na nature apera ilia amaruzi ya muli region. So mwonsefye in any field yo mwala yamo mwala sango kutira it's the law of nature itself, and the people just observe bambi accurately bambi bala fipenya fyabane fyaufi afterwards fesa baproven kutire fitefyo because file kana nombanga file isumi ni shefine ero besa mukupanga amaruzi because file fyale chita observe after afika mu maproof fyachitika ero bashinikisho kutira ifyefyo whether myotoka umuntu ala study chinama ifyo ama forces yaba na fimbi ala panga kone chintu mechanics the same rules yala aba adopted no kwinikwa pa muntu, but uyo muntu mwanasanga kutira aire sambira fyama system eya muchipaso nangwa ya muchoni ero apangira kwe chintu chaba na mechanics. So inekunda kutira it is the law of nature, the law that uphold nature and operate nature. These are the field of study where people go and observe, then they adopt.
Wakwisha? Okay,
Thank
so
you,
Joseph achungwa fyonsefyo. So number his only concern was then if after to lelanda chishiwa but nala mwipsha nepo fyo landed. Does means like shows like somehow umuntu kwa alwefia maruzi haya ba fixed fya film like fyali ba fya fixed elo nangaesha fya like it's something different gata ponene mule aye na maruzi haya ba fixed which are already late. It will become so difficult for him. He can't change. He can't bring teko something each pia. Maybe, yeah, in short, he has to follow the trend. There are number rules like these rules that are fixed. They can't grow, they can't evolve. Yeah, this is like according to the answers that we are giving him. Yes, guys.
Yala kula no muntu kuti achita ota yala shama rooms ama rules yala shama rooms. Yeah, I remember mathematics to alesambira po amashia mashani fia fyonse filia ifi chita tend to uku chita mutate na fimbi fila shama nani where you can add when you add it, it will come to something else. There is that pattern mumarus. So muntu kuti achita modify.
Okay. Now for Joseph. And you didn't tell us how many minutes as you are coming in. You have to share an eye before we close. 4. Yeah, then use them. Then now close. We'll continue some other day.
By my point, my point of contention is according to
Yes.
those people observed the rules and we have put them in motion. So if you want to understand something, just put on those
Rose.
then you understand. Now, is that correct?
Okay.
Somebody can bring other rules which are not even there visible. Yeah. Try to understand something. Yeah. So
I think your question was not what was understood in the first place. So if you are saying these are, let's say, there are patterns, maybe this and things like that. This is at the end of the day, natural or nature. So there are these things that are in existence. And I'm sure at the end of the day, us being religious people will say, they say, what to be kafir. So then people will observe. And over time, I think they've been perfected over the years. So I'm summarizing as well, closing one, not really summarizing, we're just looking at this last part. So there are things in nature, and then humans they observe and see the pattern and come up with the rules. So when you throw a pen, it will come down. Then there's gravity and things like that. But where somebody left off from, where they'll say it will fall, and then somebody else can go and study into the gravity force and learn more. So, okay, fine. I was told I've got about 16 minutes. Yeah, I'm ending at 11. Yeah, at 11. So there was a bit of confusion on the time of ending. So we've got a little bit more. So yeah, so I was saying they observe, and for me, what I got in your question, why I was agreeing with what my friends were saying, why it would be wrong. It's like you've got this idea that you want, and you just want, it's not like you're observing patterns and things like, okay, let me, Widikisha, I've seen you. So it's like you've got this idea, maybe I'm studying about, like, yeah, let me get the example. I said women are weak and things like that. So I'll just come up with the methods and my evidences to prove that. Yeah, let me end there. Yes, my
that's
friend.
what we are learning. We learned that methodology is a systematic way of doing something or studying something. And we learned that it's coming to answer a question which somebody has.
Yes.
So we can't run away from that. My question is to know women like they are weak. That's the example you're giving.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the question. Yeah. And I have to verify that that is so.
So how? Yes.
I'll go in the method which has been laid already.
Okay.
That's what you are saying. The answers which were given, that there is already that method which has been laid, which has been observed from nature. Now it's there, it's set. So me, I should not come up with my own methodology.
Okay, just let me explain. Let me share what Joseph is saying. Like the example that I gave, yeah, we've agreed that in short, methodologies, yeah, it's just a way of studying. You come up with the certain rules that have been laid. And then, so there is a question, methodology in short, we said you've got a question that needs to be answered. And then the question in this study, are women weak, really? So for the answers that we gave him, it's just boxed him why. We told him Okay, if you want to answer this question, go to the laid rules which have been observed. See, then you use those rules and answer the questions. So now I'm sure I stand to be corrected. He's going to correct me. So I'm sure his question, is it possible where he can study his own rules, not study, come up with his own rules when he observes this very nature thing, then come up with his rules to answer the question of if women are weak. Is that what you were saying? Yeah, so that is what he's saying. So the question is it possible where even he goes in nature, comes up with the rules which are going to be accurate to prove his question? Or maybe his question will be proved wrong. So at the end of the day, it's to answer, not to answer to confirm whether it's true or not. He just wants to know that. What are our thoughts? Yes,
Teacher.
but you can go ahead.
So when you look at how the society operates, I don't even know if I'm just going to say what other previous speakers have said or I'm going to say my own things. I don't know. But the thing is, it's not possible that whosoever wants to start something will come up with their own rules and regulations, because that now will be confusion. Where am I going with what I want to say? You've seen, like, let me use maths as a simple example.
Yes.
Our maths, there's just certain things that they do. If you want to find a square root, it's either you go with what's already there or you are going to get everything wrong. Because if the world was left in such a way that I want to start something and then I come up with something and conclude, then there will be confusion. And then somebody coming up with their own rules to study something. Tabakanya. This is the more reason why if you come up with a study, actually, they are not even supposed to be used for breastfeeding. They will let you do your studies. And then people will join you, your fellow doctors will join you to see if really what you're saying, is it okay or not. So I'm sure this issue of my methods, because my methods like the existence fiance, because a method is just simply a way of, you want to achieve something. Even cooking in Shima, you hear people will be like, there are a lot of methods of cooking in Shima. So method chintu chibako before urefu kushita something or before urefu kushita chivu chocho urefu kushita chivu. So nomba tatiwabdati iwefe paweka, you need people navena to study. And then gamwa start dakola bato kwali abale start so and those guys have been proved to say they were actually accurate. So I'm sure which time improve when I improve, but touch feeding a chava 1-1, because in a chava 1-1, then it will just be like if you are under Regina fishing, if you are under Joseph fishing, if you are under Kaiser fishing. So you, for that harmony, but I'm that nature in a part of which to operate, I don't know. They just said, put if you're into feeding if you have a coffee for there to be order. Otherwise, in the chaos, that's we quanish. So I think there is just ukuchita improve oko baba, and then they need people abako basi na bena bangira mo to say actually what you're saying is okay. For and takwaba yenge ama studies, somebody will come up with a study and at the end of the day balabe bachawe yo study yabu finangui study we can't be doing this to achieve this because it will harm a lot of people.
Thank you for your thoughts, Patricia. Yeah, before I can say anything, I'm being tempted. Okay, before, let me just keep this to myself. I will say later. Joseph, what are your thoughts? Joseph, not only Joseph. Yeah, Joseph is the questionnaire, but even us, others, we are free.
Yeah, even though, again, People, we are talking about biases, for example. Whether in the correct method where you want to achieve something, it is correct, there are biases. For example, let me mention of two scientists. This one is saying women's brain are different from men's brain. Then there is this other scientist who is saying they are the same. There is no pink or blue. The other one is saying there is pink and blue. So, and both are observing from nature according to their glasses. So for you to say we are wrong, we are right, insurable. Now that's the method.
Okay.
So again, there is where I want us to be, like, to have a clarity, because even today, why some are rejecting, for example, if it is equality, it's because of the methodology they are using. Some who are proving, like we say, this is right, this is right, this is godly. We have our own methodology. And if you want those people to agree with us, they have to leave their methodology and get our methodology, right?
Yes.
And if you wabushemira, put assuming,
Give it to this.
yes, you can't.
His
So now if you
methodology
say-
has been abused. That's
Yes.
what you would say.
Yes. So that's where
Okay.
my line of thought is really trying to go.
Okay.
in Zambia to play something.
I think I did refer to it, but not clearly. Oh, so Joseph, he was saying, I get carried away. Sorry for forgetting people on Zoom. So Joseph was saying, I thought to and the Philadelphia will. He gave an example, but how does one accept that this person, there are two people, two scientists? One is saying the brain of a woman and the man are different. Maybe one is blue, one is pink. And then the other is saying, no, actually they are not different, they are the same. And both are going to go in nature, come up with the rules. They observe something and they explain and have evidences and bring them to you. So now, which one, if you are the person who they are trying to convince, which one are you going to believe? And say this one is true and then this one is a lie. So this is where we need to be clear on which methodology do we use. And then he goes on to say further, that is where the challenge is when it comes to Abantu, when it comes to our message. Because even them, they've got methodology, how they are explaining things. So for them to believe and join us, they'll need to let go of their methodology, because in their methodology, there are evidences that are proving that what they're saying is true. Yeah, so that is what Joseph was saying. So I was saying, I think I didn't, I tried to explain that, not explicitly in the beginning. So allow me to read this. Yeah, I'll do a summary at the end of the day. I'll be explaining. So this is methodology. This is on Wikipedia. That is where I'm reading from in paragraph 1. In most common sense, methodology is the study of research methods. Wow, what? So methodology is the study of research methods. So at the end of the day, like I said, methodology, you're trying to answer a question. Then they're saying, when you're talking about methodology, you're just studying what? You are studying research method, in short, method or ways. I hope you understand. I don't know how to explain that. However, the term can also refer to methods themselves. So there are two things that I'm hearing. Twashana 4 minutes. Let me just try and put this. So let's try and we can use some Wikipedia. I love this. So they're saying methodology in a common sense, we're talking about it's a study of what? Method research. Research method. So you've got a question. There is a question that needs to be answered. So for you to answer that, methodology, you are studying what? The research method that you're going to use to answer this question. And then they say also the other thing, however, the term can also refer to the method themselves. Not just the research method, but also the type methodology. Let me just say the types of methodologies. So this is what you're going, so when you talk about methodology, obviously you've got a question that needs to be answered. And then you are studying the research, the type of method you're going to use. Yeah, the research method and the type of method themselves. So for example, I didn't want to do this early, but let me just try to leave you with this thought. So for example, on the types, if it asks, we say, okay, there's parable and there's conspiracy. So I think, let's see how many minutes are going. 2 minutes. I'll end it here and just give you an assignment. The next time we'll meet, I don't know when. So when you go and research. Just have a review of what we've looked at. Use Wikipedia, use whatever you can use to come up, you compare with what we've looked at. And also research on research methods, types of methods. Just use Wikipedia or simply and other means. So for now, if you've got questions, contribution, you can send them direct to my inbox. You have my number. We can use it for our next study, your contributions or your questions. I think for now we can just pray. We are praying. We can bow our heads and pray. God Almighty, we thank you for this wonderful study that you've given us. It's quite challenging, but I feel there's something that you want us to learn. Help us to research and understand the truth about methodology, thus we may understand how you are speaking to us in this end time and what you want us to learn, so that we will be able to embrace the truth that you have for us without any doubt or fear or shame, but only have confidence. We'll continue praising your name now forevermore. Amen. Just any announcement? Immediate one, very soon, we need to join. We've got an international camp meeting. The links were already shared, so let's just join in. Yes, and then for the afternoon program, we'll communicate after the study, when Paminda's study finishes. So for now, I think, yeah, bye-bye. Please, let's just join in as soon as possible. Unless Joy, you've got something to say? Okay, yeah, so we can end. I can leave.